What's up, guys? Another live stream here at Palmer Aquatics. I'm super excited tonight. I got some new food in the mail. I ran out of some of the larger Hikari cichlid pellets and I had to Amazon Prime them to my house. And I guess we're gonna do a feeding quick here and kind of just open it up. But today's topic of the video, I've been having a lot of fun with some of these stocking videos doing. And the 55-gallon, we need some ideas on how to stock a 55-gallon aquarium. I got cameras turning on here. So let me pull up the chat here, get things running. I'm gonna open this food and we're gonna do a feeding, so that should be cool. Got to turn off the audio here so I'm not listening to myself here on the live chat. I like to use this Cichlid Gold as a staple because I have so many fish, and the large pellets work really good for the predator cichlids. So let me pull up the chat here. William Who says, hello, Mr. Chris. What's up, your fine sir self? Get it on the tripod here. How is everyone doing tonight? Gonna open this Hikari food. I know a bunch of people are like against Hikari foods, but a lot of the experienced fish keepers have got me to see the light on a lot of these big brands that have been around for like decades. Am I lagging? Yeah, I think I am. Let me restart this and see if I'm lagging. I might have to restart this. No, I don't think I'm lagging, am I? Alright guys, let's feed these predators. Let me know if I'm lagging in the chat. Okay, I'm not lagging. I may have to kick everyone off the internet again. It kind of pisses my wife off, but she might be Netflixing right now, and sometimes I gotta boot everyone off. It's stupid because I have upgraded internet. It really pisses me off. So, cichlid pellets, the large, they're still not large enough, but I am battled with a problem of finding very large pellets for big fish because the Tetra sticks are, the predator sticks are really expensive. They're like $15 for a small bag, whereas this stuff is way cheaper. So let's go ahead and feed some of these guys. Dave the Rave says, hello, Chris. The Hulk says, what's up, everyone? All right, these guys, let's go above. All right, don't get too crazy, fellas. Sometimes these guys jump out. It's getting wet. Let me know if you guys can see that. I probably should flip the cam. Maybe not. Maybe that's all good. Those pellets are still too small for the fish, but William says, any advice to get Oscars to eat pellets when they are stubborn? Yeah, that's all you do is starve them. It's like you, when you get spoiled with good foods, like when you're really broke and you look at those ramen noodles and you're like, man, I'm not eating those stupid things. And then like all of a sudden an entire day goes by and then you're like, those things sound okay right now because I'm starving. And a lot of people get pissed at me and they say, oh, you should never starve your fish. This is called fasting, and it's really healthy, and it happens in natural habitat. So, and we're trying to replicate natural habitat in our aquarium. So it's like, fish need to be fasted. I do all my tanks once a week, sometimes twice a week if there was an extremely heavy feeding maybe. Like when I do live feeders, sometimes I can just see how gorged out the fish are, and especially the cichlids. I might give them 2 days to just kind of fast everything out of their system, and then I go back to normal. So, all right, guys, so let's talk about some topics here of stocking a 55-gallon aquarium. I feel like we've talked about the 20-gallon, the 30-gallon, the 40, but the 55-gallon has got to be that next level, like that step up of fish keeping where you can get a lot more fish and you have a wide range of fish you can keep. Like essentially you could keep discus, you could keep fish that you can grow out in a 55 and possibly upgrade. Even though I'm not an advocate of that, it still opens up a lot of opportunity. Like, a lot of people will keep arowana fish in a 55 until maybe they get like 8 or 9 inches long. Or I know Unconventional Aquatics, his channel, I think he's keeping a red-tailed catfish in a 55 gallon, but he's growing it out and he's gonna put it in a pond. Like, there's so much opportunity. And what I don't like about the 55 gallon, I gotta say, is it's a really skinny tank. It's really tall, skinny, and just not the best footprint for fish. But I would say because there's so many 55 gallon tanks made that they're super cheap and I can find them for $10 a dozen. I will commonly sell 55 gallon tanks for $30 cash just to get rid of them because I have a bunch of them. And the same goes for that 60 gallon tall marine land. I'm just not a huge fan of that tank because it's so skinny. And unless you're keeping angelfish or discus fish, I mean, this is kind of a side rant, but yeah. All right, let's check out the chat here because it's kind of taken off. And let me know what you guys would keep in a 55 gallon tank. I know that's kind of an open statement because you could really keep anything. All right, we got a super chat, $4.99. John Gonzalez says, not on topic, but I'm looking into getting an inline pump for water changes. Could you do a video on it? Yes, I've been getting tons of messages regarding my last live stream. I talked about that transfer inline pump you're talking about, and I will make a video demonstrating exactly how it works because it's a great idea, and I want to do the video up right to where it gives a good demonstration. I can hear my dog trying to come in here. All right, Big Feste says, I hate all tanks. Williams says, great idea. Yes, I think that'd be a cool video. Lisa's Aquatics is here. River Life is here. Aquaballs. Dave the Rave says, I know. Aquaball says, hit the like. All right, let's go up a little bit. Kush King says, can a red devil cichlid live in a 55 for a forever home? I would say no, because red devils get pretty dang big. And as you can see, my red devil's a monster. He's probably, I don't want to overestimate because sometimes a lot of people think, you know, their fish are a lot bigger than what they are, and I kind of hate that. I would say he's a foot long at minimum. And red devils, they deserve, I mean, they're a massive fish. I would say a flower horn, you know, because it's said that flower horns, Jeff Rose Fish Keeping is here. What's up, sir? I've been watching all your live streams, buddy. But what was I talking about? I'm all over the place now. But a flower horn would be a great home for in a 55 gallon tank because it's said that, you know, flower horns enjoy smaller tanks because they get kind of stir crazy in a massive tank. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's, you know, that's, I don't know. All right, Steve Henry, females are causing most of the crime and poverty. All right, this is getting kind of weird here. I should probably delete this comment. Connor O'Brien says, could I do 10 rainbow fish? Get about 4 inches. I also am over filtered. I would say in a 55 gallon tank, you can, I think you could do that. So William Hughes says, what's your biggest fish with a $5 super chat? Right now, my biggest fish is the red devil. And I would show you the tank, but I just did that feeding and it looks disgusting. We could probably still look at it because I really don't care. But Raccoon Creek Aquatics is here. Just My Fish says 55 gallon electric blue rams just because I love them. Yes, a 55 gallon tank would be excellent for a planted aquarium too, because if you get tall plants, it just looks extremely awesome. And with a deep tank like that, you may have some issues with you might have to get some extra high power lighting to kind of get to that depth. I know a lot of the plant guys prefer short tanks, like short stubbier tanks. All right, Heather Hansen says, may I ask, I have 2 medium-sized blood parrots in a 55. What else can I add to it? 55 gallon tank is good with 2 blood parrots. Sorry, I'm all over the place. What else can you add with blood parrots? Tons of fish. You could get some severums. You could get some black convicts. You could get some anything South American. Geos would work great. You could add some silver dollars, tiger barbs. You could go almost any route. You could go the community route, or you could go more or less the more aggressive cichlid route. Maybe like South Americans. You could probably get away with a green Texas in there. If you go the bigger cichlids, I would probably try to plan on upgrading to a 75 or a 6-foot tank, but you have to know you do have some time doing that. So, and that's what a lot of us do. I think we we get fish in a smaller tank and we plan on upgrading, and it kind of gives you there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it gives you time to look for a new tank to upgrade to. You look for a good deal. It's kind of like part of the hobby because it becomes addicting. Like, I'm constantly looking for huge, massive tanks, 6-foot tanks, and I don't know, it's a double-edged sword because then you're supposed to upgrade, and then maybe things come up and you don't upgrade, and then all of a sudden your fish is a foot long, and I don't know, it happens to a lot of people. So Lisa's Aquatics, add me the wrench. Lisa, how do I add the wrench? I'm slacking on this, and I'm trying to right click because I'm an idiot and it's not doing anything. All right, let's start out the chat here. William says definitely not to Oscars. Yeah, I have a rant video on, and if you get in the Oscar Fish Keepers Facebook group, there is a common belief that a 55-gallon tank is enough for one Oscar, and I will argue this till I'm blue in the face. It's not. What the 55-gallon tank is, what, 12 inches wide? Like, the fish, some of these Oscars are getting 3 inches thick and they get a foot long. So just to turn in there is like, I don't know, don't get me started. But Heather says, thank you for suggestions. I was thinking maybe a small school of silver dollars and maybe add a fire mouth. Yes, that would be perfect. With a fire mouth and silver dollars, you could also add a lot of, like, you could add some bigger tetras in there, maybe some black skirts. You could, there's so much you could do. Tiger barbs. Lisa says, click on my name. It's not letting, click on my name. Yeah, I don't know, it's not letting me. It doesn't do anything, Lisa. I need to add mods though, because there was just some weird comment in here where someone was talking about females, and I don't know, I've been pretty fortunate enough because I don't have any mods set up yet, and I don't have a lot of trolling so far, and I'm guessing that's gonna like call out all the trolls. So I would love to whack a troll tonight. A 55-gallon can be enough if the Oscar is full grown and under 13 inches. I don't think so, William. I don't know, man. A lot of people stuff Oscar fish in those 60-gallon Marineland talls that you get at PetSmart on Black Friday. William Hughes, true or false? Fish grow to the size of the aquarium. That is false. That is a big myth, a stereotype in this industry. Some fish do, but Oscars and such do not. They will just keep expanding, and most cichlids just keep growing. And thank you, William. It helps. I am thankful for all the super chats. I will give you an internet handshake, fist bump, whatever you want to say it. I don't know. Charlie Barton says, do you know the Jack Dempsey fish was named after the famous boxer in the 1920s? Yes. The Jack Dempsey, though, I don't see as being a super aggressive cichlid. So, like, I don't know if that's a great name for it. I personally think of Jack Dempsey's as being like Severums. You know, like, I haven't had extremely bad Jack Dempsey's, and I've kept tons of them. So, like, I don't know. Maybe there are some super crazy Jack Dempsey's out there, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe they just went overboard with some of the names. I guess the name Red Devil kind of suits it, but what about the Dovai? Like, that doesn't have some crazy extreme name. Or all the Parachromis. Like, those don't have, like, badass names like some of the others, and they're probably the craziest of them all. River Life says, Palmer Aquatics, click on the 3 dots to the right of the character's name, option to mod. It just says go to channel. Oh, it's because I'm not on my channel, that's why. I'm an idiot. All right, so I'm gonna add a bunch of mods here. Let me figure this out. While I'm doing that though, let's keep on topic because it's bad entertainment to, you know what I mean? So, Hunter says aqua balls. What are you talking about? Michigan Aquatics is here. What's up, bro? Bro Fist says William. There's a bunch of Williams in here, so it's kind of confusing. Yeah, a bunch of you guys want to be mods, and I do personally know who a bunch of you mods will be, so just let me figure this out. Oh, Aquaballs is talking about Ed. He's very knowledgeable about the kinds of how to add and remove moderators. Lisa is a good mod, says Jeff Rose. All right. Dovai means peaceful dove. I must be mod. All right, guys, so give us some ideas. I would say if I were to personally set up a 55-gallon tank, what I find myself commonly doing, I keep mainly cichlids because I'm a cichlid guy, but what I commonly do is I will keep, like when I get a smaller cichlid and I'm trying to, you know, maybe I got a couple of juveniles, I will keep them in the 55 until they grow out, or else I will set up a small community tank like I was talking about, maybe tiger barbs, silver dollars, tetras, some nicer cichlids, maybe like, what are some nicer ones? Fire mouths are extremely nice and get along as long as they're not breeding. Charlie Barton says, I'm watching on my TV and my phone because I can't comment on my TV. It's really hard to stay on topic and look at the chat, I got to admit. Ryan says, bluegills. I feel like bluegills, some of these cichlids need a little more room than a 55. Like David just said, a green terror. I guess, like I was talking about before, I feel like the green terror, you could keep a bunch of those cichlids in a 55, but plan on upgrading into like a 6-foot tank because these cichlids deserve a larger community, essentially. Kay Vandy says a Salvini in a 55 is good. Yeah, they'll stay pretty small. And I have a video on keeping African cichlids in a 55, and I kind of left it up to the comment section. A lot of people said that they agree that you can keep Africans in a 55 if done properly, and a lot of people were saying that it's very common for people to do it incorrectly. So, all right, I have a super chat from Dali. I hope that's how I pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. I'm really bad with names. Okay, how about a 55 with a lot of schooling fish like cardinals, red ember tetras, pygmy cories, planet? Also make me a mod, please. Yeah, these make for, that is probably the best style setup tank that you could think of, is a community tank with tetras. And I feel like a lot of people, especially new fish keepers, what they do is they get a 55-gallon tank and they're like, man, this tank is massive. And I get people messaging me all the time, like family, friends and stuff. They're like, hey, I found this massive aquarium. And I'm like, get me the measurements because I guarantee it's a 55 and it's not large. But anyways, new fish keepers, they get a new 55-gallon tank or a used one and they're like, man, this thing's huge, you know? I'm gonna get an Oscar fish, or I can keep a catfish in here. I could keep essentially anything. Let's go to the lake, let's go fishing. We can put any fish in here, and that's not the case. The best way to go about it is keep some smaller fish in there, get a community, like a community going. Community tanks are the best setup tanks because you can keep all different types of fish. You can keep barbs, you can keep tetras, silver dollars, you can get some nicer cichlids, some geos. You can get multiple types of catfish. There's just so much you could do. All right, I think there's another super chat here. Connor O'Brien says 18 4-inch rainbows in a 75. I think you'd be okay as long as like that is the showcase of your tank and you have good filtration. I would get a good canister filter. I would get some plants. I would just set it up nicely. That's a very common route now to go, is to just have a tank set up for rainbows. And some people might argue that that's too small for a 4-inch rainbow. Maybe you're talking about Bosmanis, but that is like, that's one of my dream tanks I've been thinking about lately. And I know DIY Joey has his massive rainbow tank, and yeah, rainbows are probably gonna be the most popular fish of 2019. I foresee that happening. Bunch of people are saying rest in peace, Frank. Yes, someone told me that Joey got a new flower horn. So I don't know. I haven't watched the video yet. I kind of just been like, I took a hot bath today to kind of heal my soul. I didn't watch any. I'm using this application on my phone to track how much use, or it's tracking everything I do on my phone. And I'm spending over 4 hours a day on my phone, and half of it is watching FishTube videos. So it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to cut back on that because it's, I don't know, it can't be healthy. 1 week I averaged over 5 hours. So it's like, I don't know, I can't be watching that much. It's addicting too. So the 55 is the cheapest tank at my local fish store, says Aquaballs. Yeah, I can find 55-gallon tanks super, super cheap. And I was thinking about, you know, in setting up my store, if I could somehow figure out how to make an entire rack of 55-gallon tanks, have it be effective, because they're so cheap to find used, and you can find them for $40, $30, and for free a lot of times too. But there's not an effective way to rack them up because they're so skinny, and it's just not effective, because by the time you might think, oh, maybe I could tier up 3 55s, but by the time you're on that third tier, the average person's height can't see into that 55-gallon tank, so it's just not effective to stack them. So I would love to go that route, but I just can't do it. All right. What is some small cold water fish besides white cloud minnows? What can I get? You could keep goldfish. You're talking small fish though. There's some tetras that can withstand cold water, but to be completely honest, white clouds are super cool fish. I would just get a massive school of them, and they have the long fin white cloud too. Maybe look into those. All right, Mad Fish Diva says Hillstream loaches. I just published a video on Hillstream loaches today. So Happy Toast says, hey, I'm back. Sorry, I was here earlier. What are the fish you choose? You know, I'm thinking about a rainbow tank right now as a 55-gallon tank, because I feel like with a 55-gallon tank, you have to use a fish that utilizes the height of the tank. So you need almost like a mid-swimming fish to be the showcase fish, and rainbows are exactly that. So it's like, that's a perfect choice. I don't know, do rainbows eat shrimp? I think they would. Like, it'd be cool to have a planet tank with rainbows and shrimp, but I think rainbows would probably be eating shrimp. William says, like a PetSmart SRD is still relatively good, but they are bulletproof. Yeah, a flower horn in a 55-gallon tank would be perfect. When people ask me right now what they should stock a 55-gallon tank with, I tell them a flower horn, because the flower horn has the most personality of any fish in the industry probably, and closely related fish to it, like blood parrots too. You know, when you walk into the room, a flower horn is going to come up to you. It's going to come up to the tank. A lot of people name these fish, and if you watch the fish tube industry, the flower horns are just blasting in popularity. Michael's Fish Room just got one, and he will tell you, he is a guppy guy, but he will tell you right now his favorite fish is the flower horn. And DIY Joey's channel, Frank, his channel exploded with Frank popularity. It's Simply Beta. She's been talking about wanting a flower horn. It's just these fish guys. There's no way around how much personality they have. Yeah, Michael has a flower horn now. His name's Chewy. And a couple of videos ago, he got a $50 super chat to have someone he got a $50 super chat to put his hand in the flower horn tank, and he got bit and it drew blood. It was kind of funny. It kind of wasn't. I don't know. I'm not really into that. But yeah. Michigan says, no, the Oscar is the smartest fish and the best personality. You know, that's a good argument. I don't know, the Oscar does have a lot of personality, but I honestly think flowerhorns might be a little smarter. I don't know. I personally think the Parachromis family is the smartest. Maybe, I don't know. That could be a whole other live stream in itself, but or maybe stingrays. I don't know. Arowanas. There's a lot of big fish. My jag draws blood, says Michigan Aquatics. William says, no, that's not true. My blood parrot definitely would try to attack me, says Lisa. Is chicken good for Oscars? I would say no. I always just try to replicate what the Oscar fish gets in natural habitat, and a lot of people don't know this, but they do actually eat some fruit that falls from trees, and frogs, insects, worms, crustaceans, and I hate to say it, but just feeding them strictly hikari isn't gonna cut it. Same with a lot of these big cichlids, and hopefully you don't feed your fish just these pellets, because get some tilapia, get some earthworms, get some any type of larvae worms that you can get from your bait store. I will commonly have children that come over here in the summer, look for bugs, and I'll throw them in the tanks. A lot of people do raw shrimp, just essentially anything you could think of that they get in natural habitat. So what about red-bellied piranhas? I wish someone would dial down and do like an in-depth, crazy in-depth video of setting up a tank for piranhas, because my video honestly isn't that great, and I feel like an idiot because I have my piranhas in a 75-gallon tank, because I am under the gun with setting up bigger tanks and rehoming those fish, but I will not let them go. A couple people have tried to stuff them in a 55-gallon tank and take them. I'm not letting it happen. But I wish someone would dive into, like, because there's a lot of popularity around the idea of keeping piranhas in a fish tank, and nobody has dialed in the ideal setup for piranhas. And there are so many people trolling my videos that it's like, hey, fine, I will send you to this video if you want to sit here and troll with me. All right, checking out the chat here. Ryan says bucktooth tetras. Those are super sweet. I'd rather keep bucktooth tetras any day over piranhas. Closely related to the piranha, except smaller. They have bigger teeth that stick out. There's also the vampire tetra. I'd rather keep both of those fish than piranhas. Even though piranhas, I feel like piranhas are super cool until they hit maturity, adulthood, and then they just become extremely boring and they don't move. And it's because of the idea of when they're in a tank, an aquarium is boring to them and they need massive schools. They're not getting the correct setup for their scenario of parameters. His body is a lot different. His mouth is actually... All right, you guys must be talking amongst each other. So Ty's Aquarium says, I feed my cichlids a lot of dubia roaches. They love them and they explode in color and growth. Yes. Insects are stacked full of just the correct ingredients for fish. And that's where Fluval did something very correct with their bug bites, and they have all that insect larvae in them, and my fish explode in coloration when I feed them that. But one setback, they only make, I think they only make the 3mm pellet cichlid in size, and it's not large enough for my big cichlids. So the bucktooth only get about 3 inches. Yeah, still a super cool fish. That would be an awesome setup for a 55-gallon tank. Like Ethan was just saying, you could easily do like 20 bucktooths in a 55. They get 2 to 3 inches. That would be a stellar predator tank, because you could, when you show people the tank and it would make really cool videos, you could drop in like, dude, bucktooth tetras are so ravenous that you could, I mean, I'm not into super crazy, like, explicit videos, but if you dropped in a frog, hopefully dead, but anything live, they are so ravenous. They blow away piranhas. The thing about piranhas, though, is they're piranha. My piranhas are probably like this long and 4 or 5 inches, and when they take a bite, like you look at their mouths, and it doesn't do justice how big the bite is when they take it out of something. I'll commonly wiggle a fillet of tilapia in there just to kind of like show people how big their bite is, and they'll take out chunks like that big out of the piece. Michigan Aquatics says, Chris, add moderators. I will. I'm actually in my other channel right now because I'm viewing it as a guest, and that's why I can't add moderators. So I almost have to, I've been toying around with this while I'm kind of blabbing my face off, but let me catch up to this chat. I'm getting super behind. I have no future says, hey, my bluegill has bumps and his skin is coming off and his eyes turning red. I'm starting to worry I fed him feeders because he won't eat anything else. I'm guessing, I'm not judging you, but maybe he's in a small tank. The water parameters just aren't well. I find that it's very common for people to throw bluegills in a small 40-gallon tank or a 55-gallon tank. And the thing with bluegills is they have a pretty large bioload. I found that out. If you check out my early videos, I kept a lot of bluegills in tanks. And the bluegill is probably the best buffering fish that you can add to any predator tank. I used to have problems with aggression, and then I'd throw in a decent sized bluegill. It would stop all the aggression, and all the fish were like, what is that? Like, because a bluegill is probably the toughest fish on the planet, next to like the Texas cichlid. They can withstand, they're local to me, so they can withstand temperatures like, they're just crazy. So still only gets 12 likes. Yeah, I'm not here to like tell everyone to like this video and do this and that. I'm just kind of I'm just jiving, I guess you could say. So everyone likes Chris's videos. What's a mod? A moderator. I'm gonna get on here and add some moderators. Maybe I'll do a live stream after this, and I'll sign my laptop. See, I'm signed in differently from the camera to this so that I can view, because you have to be in a different account to view it live, because I want to be up to date on the chat, because the chat is really behind when you're in your own account. It's some babble here, but yeah. Ryan says, I have 3 blackfin tetras and a 55 and I'm bored with them. They are rescue fish. Blackfin tetras, yeah. What I would do is just completely add a community tank to that setup. Get tons of more. Get some white skirt tetras. You could get tons of super cool tetras. You could get silver dollars. Those are in the tetra family. You could get just all kinds of community fish. Fire mouse, I've talked about this a ton. That is the best 55-gallon setup. All right. I will ban all, says just my fish. All right. Love these live streams, says Dave the Rave. Stop being a child. The ghost knife has small mouths, so they could be fine, but I don't really know. Yes, some of the knife fish stay small, and you might be able to keep some of them in a 55-gallon. You can even do it after the fact of the stream in your creator studio. All right, yeah, I'll probably do that, Lisa. I've been talking about this for weeks on how to add mods. Happy 16,000 subscribers. Heck yeah. Is the Aquarium Co-op store down for upgrades? I have no idea. I could check right now for you. I'm an Aquarium Co-op affiliate. I just don't. It must be down. So yeah, you might want to message Corey. Actually, probably don't message Corey. He's probably getting like a million messages right now. I'm out and love the channel, man. Heck yeah. That's weird though, because Corey's stuff is usually never down. So, but yeah, 55-gallon tank, guys. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you can keep in a 55-gallon tank. Some of the fish we didn't talk about, maybe like goldfish. Goldfish, that could work. You're gonna be doing a lot of water changes. Get a water changer and modify it, like I said in the last video. All right, Heather says, Chris, what size tank is right next to you? These are here, I'll flip the cam here. These are 2 6-foot tanks. That's a heater. Those are Jack Dempsey's. I know, beautiful, right? Severums, Blood Parrot, Blue Acaras. There's some Plecos in there. There's like 3 Dempseys in there. A Texas Cichlid. And this is another 6-foot tank. There's 2 6-foot tanks stacked. So, and this is my Red Devil. He's a lot bigger than what he looks. That's my hand. These are some Midas. I'm looking to rehome to someone local. These are my Parachromis Jaguar Cichlids. This one's a little smaller. This is a Red Devil. Or no, is he a Red Devil? Yes, he is a Red Devil, but he's growing out. He's still kind of changing colors. This is a Red Texas. 2 ugly Red Texas that I got for free. Someone didn't really like them. They probably should have been culls, but they're hybrids, and that's the fact of the matter. All right, let's go back here. But yeah, all these are this is a quad 75-gallon setup. This is just a racking for 4 75s, 2 40s, a empty 40 and 2 75s, and that's basically all I'm running right now. And I have a buttload of tanks out in the shop right now, and I have like probably 20 tanks in the other fish room that I'm breaking down. There's a 150 acrylic in there, a 90 acrylic, a 60 acrylic, and a ton of tanks out in the shop, and I'm buying a bunch of them. I'm shooting for like 100 tanks in the store setup, and it's coming together nicely. It's just so freaking cold outside right now to work out there. Soren says, I've been trying to join one of your live streams. You're finally here, brother. Or maybe you're a girl, sister. All right. Heather says, beautiful tanks. He is so huge and so pretty. Beautiful. Show that Rose Queen, man. I show the Rose Queen cichlid all the time. I need to get a better light on there, but I can here just quickly. I don't want to bog it down. There's the purple Rose Queen. It's a hybrid, but a very beautiful. I'm hoping that he turns more purple. Kind of a rare fish. I had a breeding pair that I got. Someone dropped them off at the fish store, and it was a breeding pair, but the female was really rough, and I was like, man, should I not take the female? And there was a person at the fish store, and they were like, hey, I want those fish, and if you're not gonna get them, and I was like, I'll take them, because I really wanted them, but I was like, and I was trying to be so delicate with the female, and I turned off the lights. I cranked up a heater in there to make sure it was nice and warm, because my fish room runs a little colder than maybe what a fish store keeps them at. What I try to do when I get new fish, I'll throw a heater in. I keep my fish room right around 77, 78, and a lot of fish stores, I think because they're constantly getting in new fish and they're kind of like less hardy, that the hot temps really help, and it kind of warms them up and it colors them up too, essentially. But it saves me money to drop it a couple degrees, and I think something happened with her. She was just really insecure, and just she died like immediately in a couple hours. There was like no, like, hey, can I maybe treat the fish with something? Can I, I turn off the lights, I turn up the heat to like 80, and I don't know, there was tons of hiding spots. She just basically jumped in a pot. I'm ranting about this, but I'm really sore about losing her, because it was a breeding pair. And now I just have a male. Like, what am I gonna do with a stupid male now, right? I have to find a female purple rose queen now, which is not going to be easy. I've been on Aquabid. If you guys ever come about one, send me the link. I wish you were closer to me. I would visit you every day, says Aquaballs. What are you talking about, Aquaballs? You're making all that cool stuff too. You should start shooting videos of all the stuff you're making. If anybody has more than 2 tanks, recommended Python water changer, 10 out of 10. Yeah, and I'm gonna do a recap video on the water changer video, because there's a lot of trolling going on about me talking smack about the water changer, and I think it was more kind of just like a rant, but the water changer is a great technology and a staple to the industry. But what I was saying is it's wasteful in water. I'm gonna do a recap video and just kind of like touch base on how I feel about it. I don't know, It's getting a lot of bad feedback, kind of, and I don't like that. What I was just saying is there's more effective ways once you become more aware of like how gravity works. And the lights are off. The lights are shutting off. I think I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I want to thank all the super chatters. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna add some mods right after this ends. I promise you that. A bunch of you guys have been asking, what's the temperature difference between African American cichlids? A lot of people keep African tanks colder. Like I know KG Tropicals talks a lot about it and he doesn't have any issues. I've had issues personally. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end this up. Sorry if I didn't get to your chat. Add me on Facebook. Thanks, says Lisa. Yes, if you want to be a mod, I'm gonna add a bunch of you. I won't forget you. There's a couple of you that are always here. Hunter, Lisa, Aquaballs, Ethan's always here. Michael's Fish Room. There's a bunch of you. Sorry if I forgot your name. All right, guys, excellent. Let me know in the comment section what you plan to keep in your next, or no, maybe if you had a 55, what would you put in it? So we can just kind of comment. I like reading the comments, so make sure to like the video and comment. All right, I don't know, I gotta calm down.